Today we're going to be repairing the upper LCD on a Nintendo DS Lite. Start out with some of the tools we need. You might need some tweezers, I use them, a triwing screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and a hobby knife or X-Acto knife. And you might need some pliers. Alright, let's get into the repair. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and take off the screw on the battery cover. And take out the battery. And then get your Phillips head screwdriver and take out this screw right here and this one right here. And then get your tri-wing screwdriver and take out this screw, and this one right here. And then there's a little black one hidden back here. Alright, after removing those 4 screws, see these 2 little black covers right here? You just have to get your flathead screwdriver and pop those off. And then there's 2 Phillips head screws under there. So then you just take them out right here and right over here. Alright, after you take those 2 screws out, you're ready to take the bottom cover off. So start out on the back, separate the back, and then you can take your fingernail or a screwdriver and just kind of work your way around and pop it off. And it will be a little catchy to learn, but you'll get it. There we go. Just a few snaps all the way around. Before you do this, make sure that you take your little slot card out, or else the back cover will not come off. So there we go. Took the back cover off, and now we're going to take the trigger buttons off, and try to keep the spring and everything intact, or else it'll be hard to put back together later. So they should just slide right out. And just set those aside. Alright, now take your Phillips head screwdriver and take off this screw right here. Alright, now flip it around and take off these 2 little button snaps right here. You can use your tweezers, or you can use your fingers for these. They just kind of snap off. Kind of like that. There we go. Alright. And now you take this black wire and kind of flatten it out, and then you should be able to pull it right under this card slot. You might have to kind of work it through, then it just comes out the other side. And now, open it up a little bit, and don't pull from the inside, push the touchscreen from in there, and it should just come right off. Now this is the hard part. Right here where the upper LCD connects, there's this little black bar on it. You have to raise that bar. You can use your fingernail or the pliers or the tweezers or whatever and raise that little bar, and then the ribbon cable should just slide right out. Just like that. Set the motherboard aside. Get our wires out. And now we have 2 screws right over here on the hinge, and they're Phillips head screws, and take them both out. And they're long screws, so don't get them mixed up with the rest. Alright, and now the hinge should just lift up. It should just come right out. And you can set that aside too. Now here comes the tricky part. Right in here you kind of straighten the wires out, and this ribbon cable should fit right through this slot that you have on the case. You can see that little slit right there. And as the upper and lower, you slide this one out, and as you're sliding that out, the ribbon cable should go right through that little slit in the case. Kind of like that. And then it should just come right out. And now you only have the upper half. Now you need to take your hobby knife or X-Acto knife and take off the 4 little rubber tabs that are covering up 4 hidden screws. You can also use a flathead screwdriver for this. Alright, once you have those off, there's just 4 Phillips head screws in each corner. And just take them out. Alright, now that you have your 4 screws out, you need to take your little barrel hinge out. And you might be able to get it with the tweezers, but usually it's more tough. So just get your pliers, grab the end of it, and pull it right out. And now, the cases, the inside case and the outside case, you should just be able to slide it like that. And then the back should just come right off. There it goes. Alright. Now we're inside the upper case of the DS. So we want to replace the screen. So let's go ahead and push it from the inside. Push it away from the rest of the plastic frame. And it is taped on there pretty tight, so. And be careful not to pull any wires or cut any wires because you'll need them later. And if your upper LCD is dead and it's not working anymore, then instead of feeding the ribbon cable through, it might be easier just to go ahead and cut it. So you can cut your ribbon cable and then pull your LCD in. And now you have your whole upper LCD away from the rest of the case. So now, we need to fire up our soldering iron, and then we're going to desolder both the speakers from the old LCD. Alright, now that your soldering iron is nice and hot, and mine might look a little bit different than yours, I cut the ribbon cable off, just to slide it out easier since the upper LCD is already broken. It'd be kind of pointless to waste all that energy. And when you're pulling your speakers out, these little black rings might come out. Don't worry you didn't break anything. Just put them back in the case where the speakers came from, and they keep the speakers from rattling around. So just put them back in there and don't worry about it. And then you're just going to come in with your soldering iron, and you can use a desoldering tool or you can just pull the speakers off. And just come in with your soldering iron and get them nice and hot, and they should just come right off. There you go. And now we'll go get our new upper LCD. Alright, let's get our brand new upper LCD, which you can order from the Nintendo NintendoRepairShop.com. Not just NintendoRepairShop.com. Sells many of the parts you might need. And now we'll get our soldering iron, and we'll do what's called tinning. And it'd be nice to have basic soldering skills to put this on here, but you don't have to be an expert. Just get a little solder on every contact. Makes it a whole lot easier when you're soldering your speakers back on. So we'll grab our speakers. Grab the first one. Go ahead and solder it on there. Let it cool. Grab our next one. Put it on there. Solder it. Let it cool. Grab our other speaker. Put it in place. Solder it. And it should harden. And grab the last one. Hold it on there. And solder it. There we go. So now that we have our speakers on there, you just kind of wrap the cord around, and on the back of the LCD it has this little track that you can feed the wires into. Kind of keeps them out of the way, so when you close up the case you don't pinch or cut a wire. Alright, and once you get it in there, you probably have to grab some electrical tape to hold it in place, or else it'll jump out like that. Alright, so get your wires and that little track hole thing. Get your electrical tape and just lay it down. You don't have to do this, it's just a little trick, but it really makes it a whole lot easier. So, alright, let's grab our top right here, and let's feed the ribbon cable through. Now, it might not be an issue for you, but it's easier for me to go ahead and take out the antenna and go ahead and take out the microphone because the wires do get in the way. Let's go ahead and take those out.